Hey everybody, this is Tara with the Painted Cicada, and tonight we are making this really fun and easy dot mandala. Give me just a second here. I'm going to make sure that I am live in the showcase. Yep, I see myself. Okay, good deal. All right, so yay. Okay. So if this is your first time with me, my name is Tara Lynn, and my business is the Painted Cicada. I am a mixed media and acrylic artist. But today I wanted to do something special. So what I encourage you to do is grab some pink paint, and I'll be creating on a 4x4 square. Really, you can create on any small canvas. Hi, Christy. What you'll need as far as paint goes, I'm using 3 different colors of pink. I've got a light, a medium, and a dark pink. Any 3 colors of pink are fine. And then I've got a metallic pink and a metallic white. Hey everybody, I just want to, before we get started, remind everybody that I go live using StreamYard. So if you could give StreamYard permission, that would be awesome so I can see the comments. And what I'm going to do here is switch my camera so that you all can see my desk. All right, sorry I've got the camera. I had the camera in front of my face there, but that's because I had to go really close to my desk so you all can see what I'm doing here. All right, let me straighten this out. Raise it up just a bit. So I've got 2 options here, and I'm going to be creating the one with, oh goodness, with the darker pink on the background there. Ugh. Sorry, y'all. Let me get this situated. There we go. I'm not used to having my camera so low. Hi, Susan. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Gloria. I'm so glad y'all are here. All right. So you're going to want a blank canvas. I've got a 4x4 here. And then I made this super easy. I realize not everybody's going to have dotting tools. So this is one that you can get at the dollar store. It's a craft stylus, but you can use it for dotting. It's got a tiny end and a larger end here for dotting. And then I've got this, I've got a dotting tool. If you don't have a dotting tool, you can grab just a plain old pencil and you can use the eraser tip. You just want to make sure that it's a new eraser so it's nice and flat. So that would be a good substitute for that. I'm going to use, this is a Stabilo white pencil for my chalk mark. You can use just a plain old piece of chalk as well. I like to use chalk because it will wipe away when we're finished. And then, as I mentioned, I've got my paints. So I'm going to be working in pink tonight. So I've got a light, medium, and dark pink. And then I chose 2 metallic colors. I've got a metallic white, and this is a pearl pink, but pearl pink, metallic pink, same thing. If you don't have pinks, feel free to use any colors that you would like. Hope everybody's rolling in. Hi, Kathy. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is paint our background. And so I'm going to make one similar to this. It's going to be slightly different, but we're just going to go with it. All right, so I'm going to use my medium color here, my medium pink. This one's called Carousel Pink. It's a really nice pink. I'm sorry if I'm like really close to my camera, but in order for you to see the dots, that's what we're going to have to do. All right, so step one, we're just going to color. We're going to paint this canvas pink. So I'm using my medium pink. Any color pink you want will be fine. Whatever color you use for the background, you are not going to use it so much for the design. So I'm using my medium pink. We're just going to get this canvas painted solid color. And I'm not sure if it's going to show up in my post at the top, but let's see. If you are, if you have someone to nominate to receive one of our breast cancer gifts this month, you can do that. Let me put it here. In the group. All right, so I posted the link if you have somebody to nominate because we're not just creating this month for the sake of creating. We are creating some breast cancer blessings. So for any of our sisters who have struggled with breast cancer or are currently fighting breast cancer, we are going to send them a blessing in the mail, a piece of happy mail with some art. So take the opportunity to nominate somebody. If you know somebody who needs some or who would enjoy receiving some pink ribbon happy mail. All right. So I've got one coat on there. I'm going to give this just a second to dry, and then we are going to add, I'm going to add a second coat just because I don't like to see the canvas through that. And if I'm going to gift it, I want to make sure that it looks really nice. Oh, Deborah from Mississippi is here. Hello, Deborah. I love seeing where everybody is from. I think that's the fun of being online. I know a lot of times, I'm going to switch the camera here for a minute while I'm letting this dry. A lot of times, people get frustrated with Facebook and there's a lot of drama. And, I know for a while there was a lot of politics and the whole COVID thing. Interacting online has become kind of stressful, but being in these art groups has been an absolute amazing experience for me because I've had the opportunity to meet people from all over the place, which is super fun. Oh, Christy's back home in Texas. You finally went home. I thought you were never going to go home. I thought you were going to move in with your family. You were there forever. All right, let me switch back here. All right, so I'm adding a second coat. It's just kind of ends up being like a coat and a half because it wasn't completely dry, but that's okay. As long as I don't see any of that white canvas showing through, then I am happy. Happy, happy. Ooh, Minnesota and Colorado. I've not been to either. I've not been any farther west than Wisconsin. For a long time, it was Chicago. That was as far west as I had gone. My husband is a truck driver, and so we went to Wisconsin together. And so I went like a smidge farther west. Although I did go to Missouri. I went to St. Louis. I don't know if St. Louis is farther than where I was in Wisconsin or not. I'll have to look on a map. But that's as far west as I've been. But I've been to every state east of Ohio. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Cincinnati. So I'm actually like less than a quarter mile from the Ohio-Indiana border. So I've been to every state east of here, but I have not been out west very much. And I would love to go out west one day. I swear, there's not a day where I paint where I don't find a piece of dog hair somewhere in my piece that I have to scrape out. All right, so that is pretty much all the painting we're going to do is just laying down that first color. So you want to get a nice thick coat on there. And we're going to let that dry. I might zap mine with the dryer here real quick. How's everybody's Monday going? I have been super productive today, which is not usually the case, so I'm proud of myself. I've got some craft fairs, art and craft fairs coming up in December. Actually, November, that I need to be ready for. So I did a lot of organizing and pricing today. Throwing out some old stuff. My husband will be excited about that because I am a clutter keeper. All right. So I'm going to set this aside. So if yours is not dry, you can just set it aside. I'm going to show you what we're going to do in terms of the dots. You do not need a lot of paint. So don't go crazy with the amount of paint you have. I'll show you here. I used very little. So I'm going to get my light pink. Yeah. And actually this here is way more than I'll use. Here's my dark pink. There's my metallic. Here's my pearly white, and I might actually use some regular white too. Again, you can substitute any of these colors. Silver would be a great color to work with the pinks. All right, so this is my large dot here. And what you're going to do when you create these dots, so you're just going to dip it in the paint, and you want it to make sure it covers the whole tip. And when we make a large dot, you're just barely going to push it down. And you'll almost see like this kind of creates, gosh, I hate to say it, but it almost creates like a little nipple in your paint when you pull it up. And that's what you want. And eventually that'll flatten out and be a nice, perfectly round dot. Yes, Christy, have to have goals. If I don't write stuff on my calendar, I don't do it. All right, so that was our large dot. Now on the stylus, if you're using one of these, you've got two tips. The large tip, if you dip it in, will make a circle about this big. And then with the large tip, we can do something called walking the dots. So when we go to walk the dots, for example, you'll just continuously dot and they will get smaller. So like this would be my main dot. And I'm not going to dip in paint. And you'll see the more that you dot with it, I haven't done anything, but anything as far as getting more paint. And you'll see the dots get smaller. And that's called walking the dots. Again, what you do for that is you just dip that end in paint. You're going to make your main dot. And then if you walk it out, you'll see they get smaller. And that's called walking the dots. And then you'll have your little tiny tip, which just makes these little itty bitty dots. And if you were working on something intricate, we're not going to do this today. But you could also walk these little ones and they get smaller as well, just to show you. Now, while I'm working, I use the baby wipe. You can use a wet paper towel. But what I do in between colors, so like if I have paint on here, I just wipe it off and keep going. I don't dip in water or anything like that. Just wipe and go. I think it's helpful to have a wet paper towel or a baby wipe. So if that's an option, go ahead and grab one of those. Yes, these make dotting super easy. You can do a whole lot with just these three sizes. I made this whole thing here with just the three sizes. And I don't know what happened to my sample, but it's got red paint and white paint and got all kinds of crazy. Anywho, yeah, so let's get started. Once you're, let me move my palette here. I need to get set up. I keep moving my stuff. I'm not used to being so close to the camera. All right. There we go. Okay. Need to leave that there. All right. What I'm going to do is make a line corner to corner with my chalk. That helps me find my center. And once I find my center, it's a whole lot easier to make this look right. So I just make an X going corner to corner and corner to corner. And again, this is chalk, so if you need to make it thicker, or if you've got, you know, a normal piece of chalk, you can use that as well. But you just want to find that center right there in the middle. And because this is chalk, when your piece is completely dry, that just wipes off. So once you have your center, I like to add some additional lines just to help me keep things on track here. So basically we're making a star. You just want to find your center points. If you want to be specific with it, you can always measure with a ruler, but I find just going corner to corner and then making a plus in the middle works out really well. All right, I'm going to start with a large dot in the center. And I'm going to use my metallic white. Oh, I should mention too. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Good to see you. I'm using these Deco Art paints, which are perfect consistency. You want the consistency kind of a thick milkshake, is what I would compare it to. If you're using like artist acrylic, tube acrylic, it's going to be thicker, and you're just going to want to thin that down a little bit. All right, so think like thick milkshake. Okay, so I'm going to dip into my metallic white, and I'm going to dot right there on the center. And if it's not perfect, don't be afraid to go right back over. Right there in the center. One white dot. One metallic white dot. All right, so next I'm going to move on to my stylus. We're going to do, I'm going to call them large, medium, and small. Okay, so this right here is my large. This end of the stylus is my medium. And then you've got your tiny. So 3 sizes, that's all we're doing today. Next, I am going to move on to metallic pink. And so for my metallic pink, we're going to put a dot right next to the white on each of those lines. And if you use big chunky chalk like I did, just visually go in the center of that big chunky line. So it ends up being 8 dots right around that center. 1 on each ray. All right, now I'm going to use my smallest stylus here, and I'm going to dip in my darkest pink. And these are my itty bitty dots. I'm going to put 1 itty bitty dot in between each of those pink dots. And now I'm going to use my medium. I'm going to use the same color, my dark pink. And right next to, kind of in another row, right next to my dark pink dot, I'm going to do a large dot, or I'm sorry, this is my medium, a medium dot right next to it. So you'll see there's a tiny dot, and then right next to it, there's a large dot, and it goes right in between each of those rays. obsessed with metallics, Christy. I love pearly colors and metallic colors and iridescent colors. I love them all. Anything with shine. All right, next I am going to dip into plain white, not my metallic white. I'm going to use my plain white. And in between my dark pink dots, I'm going to have a plain white dot. So center it as best as you can. And it should go on one of those rays. So I've got my large dot in between my dark pink dots. And you'll see as I'm creating this, y'all, it's not perfect. When you're making these mandalas, distance is your friend. Remember, you are not going to be looking at it like crazy close, like we're doing when we're creating. So don't be afraid to hold it back a little to see what it's going to look like. All right, and I'm going to use my small again, and I'm going to dip into the dark pink, darkest color, and I am going to add 2 small dots in between the white. And I don't need to refill. I'm just going to do dot dot in between these whites. Dot. And don't be afraid, like, if you don't have the right amount on your stylus, go ahead and go over it again. You're not going to hurt anything. And you'll see as we do this, little by little, it starts to look like a pattern. All right, I'm going to use my large stylus and dip in the light pink. And I'm going to do 1 large light pink dot right at the end of that trio. So it's kind of like a medium, small, small. And then we're going to do a large light pink. Or you can look at it in between the white dots. We're putting a large light pink. And if as you're creating, if you find that you've goofed and you haven't done exactly as I've done, there's no right or wrong. The idea here is just to make sure you repeat the pattern. So if you do something a little differently than me, that is absolutely fine. Just make sure you repeat the pattern all the way around. All right, in between the light pink, I'm going to use my medium and my dark pink. And on the lines or centered between the pinks, I am going to have a large dark pink dot. Just right in between there. Great, next to my dark pink dot there, I'm going to add in a large dot of my metallic pink. So again, on each of the rays, I'm going to add one dot of metallic pink or in between my light pinks, centered. I'm going to hold this up to the camera for a minute so you can see where I am. All right, next I'm going to use my medium dot, my metallic white, and I'm going to do something kind of a change to the pattern I haven't done yet, and that is next to this light pink, I am going to put one metallic white dot on each side, and I want them to be the same size, so I'm reloading my stylus. So next to that light pink, I've got 2 dots. So they surround that light pink dot. This is our first time adding a set of 2 in each space. Thank you, Deborah. Yes, Christy. Let me show everybody what you said. Christy said, I enjoy random, but there's something so relaxing about the symmetry of a mandala. And that is so true. I think there's just a beauty in following a pattern. I love finding patterns in nature too, like when you see leaves that curl up with that golden ratio, or I don't know, almost just the math of it all, that perfect natural beauty is really fun. But there's something about doing a pattern, you know, once you have your pattern set and you kind of know where you're going, it can be really relaxing. Hi, Shalene. Yay, I'm so glad you stopped in. Shalene is one of my dotting friends. She does lots and lots of beautiful mandalas. All right, so here I did 2 dots of the metallic white in each space, and now in between the metallic white dot, I am going to let's see, I have to look at my sample here. I'm going to put one of my dark pink dots, and it's going to be a medium size. We're just using 3 today. So in between this white, right next to, almost on top of that pink, that light pink, I'm putting a dark pink dot. So in between each ray, there's 2 white and a dark pink, 2 metallic white and a dark pink. Need to fix that one a little bit. And I want you guys to know, as I'm looking at mine, I see so many little imperfections. So do not be hard on yourself. Once you're finished and you step away, it's going to look so much better. When you're creating it, you're going to see all those little imperfections. Shalene, I just am using them right out of the bottle. I've got just a light pink, a light, medium, and dark pink. Oops, can't see on camera. I'm so not used to my camera being this close. So I used a light, medium, dark pink. This color actually is what I used for the background. So really for the mandala, I'm using these two plus white. And then I've got a light pink metallic and a white metallic. All right, the next dot I'm going to do is with my large dotter here. And I'm going to go into my dark pink. And I'm going to add one large dot next to my dark pink medium dot. So it's going to go right next to the white metallic that we did earlier. Just two large dots. So in between each ray here, you're going to have a medium dark pink and then two large dark pinks. And I can follow the same pattern over and over, and each time it looks just a little different. This time I've kind of scrunched it together. When I made my sample, I stretched it out just a little bit more. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get contrast when you're using all one color palette here. But it all comes together. When you add the top dots, it really pops. That's my favorite part. All right, so in between each ray, we added two large dark pink dots. All right, in the center of those two large dark pink dots, we are going to add one metallic white dot. All right, now the next step, we are going to use the medium stylus, and we are going to do the dots around the white here. And we are going to use, what color did I use? I'm going to use my metallic pink here. So I showed you in the beginning how to walk the dots, but basically what we're going to do is put one dot right here, one medium dot right here at the end, right next to our metallic white. And then I'm going to dip again, and I'm going to do center, 2, 3, 4. So I end up with 4 dots. And then I'm going to redip. I'm going to go in that center again, 2, 3, 4. And remember, as we walk them, they get smaller. So I'm going to do that for all of my white. With my metallic pink here, I'm going to go right next to that metallic white, and I'm going to do center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do that all the way around. Center. I like to do my center dot, and then I go back to my center every time. So center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center dot. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center dot. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center dot. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Right, I am going to do another set of walking the dots right next to this pink set here. So it's going to be metallic white, then we've got the pink, and then I'm going to do dark pink. Another center dot. Center, 2, 3, 4, and I just curve it around. I just continue that same curve. Center, 2, 3, 4, around the previous set. So the exact same thing we're doing with dark pink. So center, 2, 3, 4. 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 By adding these on these ends there, it makes it like a flower. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. Center, 2, 3, 4. So this is the final pattern, the final base of the pattern. And we're going to go through and add some dots on top. Top dots for this are kind of optional. But I'm going to zap mine with my dryer just for a second. And again, you can personalize yours and make it however you want. You can change up the pattern a little bit. Basically, anywhere I have my metallic white, I'm going to add, so I have a large metallic white in the middle. I'm going to add light pink, not metallic, in the center with my medium. And I'm going to do that. I've got some large white metallic around the edges here. So I'm going to add light pink in each one of those. I'm just going right on top with my medium. And because that's light pink on that metallic white, it's real subtle. So I did the center with one medium dot and then each one of these metallic whites. Now I do have a medium-sized metallic white set of dots here in the middle, but since they're smaller, we would not see a light pink top dot as well on there. So I'm going to leave those as they are. So right here we have a plain white, not metallic, circle. And I'm going to add metallic pink top dots with my medium. On each of these. Now this is metallic pink with the medium. Dot, dot. So that was light metallic pink on the plain white dots right here. Now this next set of dots here I did with light pink, not metallic. So I'm going to come back through with my dark pink. I'm going to do dark pink on the light pink. And I don't know why my camera is showing that dark pink is kind of a brown, but here in person, that's definitely a dark magenta pink. Yeah, I don't know why that shows brown. Maybe I need a new webcam. On these dark pink dots here, I'm going to use plain white, not metallic. You'll see once you start adding those top dots, it really starts to pop. And then the last one that I'm going to do is the dark pink here on the end. I'm not going to do the walking, but I'm just going to add one light pink dot with my small stylus. So this was a medium dot, and I'm going to use the smallest dot with my light pink. And I'm just going to add a tiny little white pink dot on all of the ends. I have a hard time stopping when I do top dots. I could just keep going and going and going. So that is it, my friends. And like I said, if your pattern ended up being a little different than mine, that is absolutely fine. The idea here is just to make sure that you have a pattern. So if you change up your colors, you can follow the exact same pattern and use different colors. And it would be absolutely beautiful. So don't be afraid to change it up and make it your own. And then what I'm going to do is when this dries, so this chalk that I used will just brush right off. But I don't want to do it while it's wet because I would smear my paint. So I would recommend letting it sit overnight, and then tomorrow you can seal it if you want to. Brush off that chalk and seal it, or it's beautiful as is. So that is the pink mandala lesson there. And then before I go, I will show you, I've got way too many, but I do have some dotting tools here. So you can go on Amazon, and these are fairly inexpensive if you get these. Let me lift up my camera just a little bit now that I'm done teaching. All right, so I keep mine in a jar here, and eek. See, I adjust my camera once, and now it never doesn't want to go back. All right. Ay, ay, ay. All right, there we go. Okay, so you can get these little, I don't know what they are, acrylic dotting tools, and you'll see they come in a bunch of sizes. I've got some really large ones, and I don't just use these for mandalas. Sometimes I use these when I need to make perfect circles. They also make some that are like this. I don't prefer these, but I do notice that different brands, the sizing is different. So like one, let's see, let me show you. So like this purple one here is, I don't know if you can see, one of these is purple and one of them is blue. It's not as noticeable on the camera, but these are two different brands, but they're the exact same size. So just know that when you're, depending on what brand you have, the colors are not consistent. And then I'll show you these as well. And I really enjoy these because they're numbered. So these dotting tools are from Mark's Mandalas, and this is just a piece of plastic. But they're numbered so I can keep them in order. And I went through and I wrote like the millimeters for each tip on them. But this is another brand that I really like for dots. And they tell you exactly, when you get it, it comes with a sheet that says exactly what size each end will make. So that's an option. I just wanted to show you some different dotting options. So if you've got the dotting bug now that you've given it a try, those are some tools that you can use. But as you can see, so I made tonight's lesson and these two samples. All three of these I made with the exact same color palette. And just those three sizes of the dotting tools. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Trisha said that looks amazing. Thank you. So just having those three sizes, you can do so much. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of tools or, a bunch of paint. Like just by shaking up the way that you do the dots, you can come up with some really interesting patterns. Yay, so thank you so much for creating with me. Let me switch my camera so you can say goodbye. I really enjoyed making this with you. Don't forget to nominate somebody if you know somebody that needs some pink ribbon pick me up in the mail. And I can't wait to keep creating with you this month. There's lots of fantastic lessons that we've already done in the guides and lots of fun stuff coming up. So thank you again. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. Bye, everybody.